What's going on, everybody? Time for the lunch hour. It is lunchtime with Clydesdale. What is going on? We got Meredith. We got Simi. We got Corey. We got Shanna. We got Ken in the chat already. I do not know what the hell our quiz is, but Corey got an 88. Huh. Interesting. Got Vicky. Got Jake. Amanda. Jose. What's going on, everybody? All right. Aaron Fraser, I'm embarrassed about my 56. Man, I am really excited to take this quiz. I don't know what it is, but I got some appointments this afternoon, so it'll probably be this evening. I'll jump on that. So there we go. What's going on, everybody? I just watched the Sevan podcast with Colten. Colten is one of my favorite people in the world. And he talked about something there that I just wanted to bring up that I thought was an interesting perspective as we've been talking about the WFP and maybe increasing the amount of money they're going to pay the athletes. And Sevan asked him some questions about that, like what does six figures mean, all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to throw a dart. Yeah, not good. And so what I found interesting is his perspective. Like he felt like because of the type of person he is and the type of people most CrossFit athletes are, that they can make six figures anywhere. And that the money isn't the most important thing to him because he can do that on his own. He can go do another job. He can work. He can work another job. He can start a business. He can do other things to make six figures. But there's only one thing that gets him to be the fittest man on earth. And that drive for that competition and that title means more to him than whatever money is going to be thrown at him. So I ask you this. How many people do you think turn down the money because the title means more than whatever they're going to throw at them? And I'm going to tell you personally, that would be very hard. Yes, my initial goal would be to be the fittest on earth. But when someone's throwing money at you, that means you don't have to work and you can just focus on your trade. I think that's really tough to say no to. But Abby Domit apparently has said the same thing. Doesn't matter about the money. It is she wants that title as well. So I think that there are definitely people out there that can't be bought, and not in a bad way, because I don't blame people for taking the money, but people saying that they don't want the money doesn't mean as much to them as the title. So, Esther Serve, everyone has a price. Me, I turned it down. Good for you, Jake. Who let the cats out? Because Colten has values. Ken Walters, as I said on the Sevan chat, my best hires in my career for sales and management positions were ex-college pro athletes and military. Never make a mistake. Abby's husband commented on the spin last night that the title means more than the money. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Is the exclusivity just to exclude the game season, or is that rogue and other events too? Again, Aaron, this was a rumor. As I said, a wild rumor. I heard it from a couple different places, but when you get rumors, you don't necessarily get a lot of detail. So, yeah. Any of the top 10 men from this year who can have feasibly won the games. Is there any chance that they would turn down the potential next year? I don't know. I think it's what your priority is, right? Jake, I moved away from 6 figures to raise a family and homeschool. That's a massive decision, brother. And I commend you for that. Add a 0 to 6 figures. Well, 7 figures is a lot. That's a lot. As we mentioned yesterday, there's only one place on earth that has the title fittest on earth. My only thing is, and I guess if in playing this game, we have to assume that there will be CrossFit next year. There will be a CrossFit game season, but all that is kind of unknown as well as we head into that with the sale and everything. We don't know what that means. Nice, Jake. We forge elite fitness. Others are forgeries of elite fitness. Well, that brings me to, I was watching the spin last night, and Tyler went really academic on us, but I wanted to share his little thing here. So I took this from his presentation last night, and I think it did a good job kind of breaking down why CrossFit was successful. And I agree with most of what he said. I really do. But he kind of moved this into the sale. I want to look at this from a competitive competition standpoint, right? So the way the CrossFit makes money is through affiliates and education. That's this top part up here. And then on the other side, the intelligence is the competitors and the media. That's how you get people to know about it out into the world. And then there's the religion aspect of it, which is the methodology and what you believe in. And then the Crusades is what he kind of explained to as the fight against sugar, those types of things, the soda wars, all of that, that Greg took on in his time with CrossFit. And so if you think that this is the way that it was really exploding and CrossFit really took off, which I do believe, if you put World Fitness Project over top of this, there is no religion aspect to the World Fitness Project. It's just money. They are just for the athletes. It's the competitors in the media, and the media has not been awesome. And the competitors are, so you have about half of the intelligence. The finance does not come from anywhere but for lack of better term, a trust fund. And there is no religion to it. So it's missing a lot of aspects to be successful if you believe that this is the roadmap to be successful in this kind of endeavor. Then you have Metfix, who doesn't have the competitors or the media, doesn't have has some affiliates and does some education, but they talk at a level that's really hard to understand. And then they are all about the religion and the crusade. I just don't think they're very good at getting us to understand the methodology. They have the crusade that they want to go after, but they're not telling us how to use that to help to benefit ourselves, for us to jump on board the crusade. So it's missing some big chunks to this wheel as well. Where if you look at CrossFit, they've kind of lost their way. But I think where they've mostly lost their way is just in the religion aspect of it. We don't feel like there's some they are out there fighting for us in a crusade type fashion anymore. Now, all of this marketing that's been coming out that kind of leads down to a path of crusade, because it's all the old taglines and all the stuff that Greg used. I think that's where CrossFit needs to take that next step and actually fight for what they believe in. They have to fight that they are the cure. They have to fight against sugar. They have to fight against all this stuff that's going on in the government as we speak. We can't accept Make America Healthy Again and a dumbed down version of what that looks like. So I thought it was interesting you brought this up. I just wanted to throw competition and the competitors against CrossFit into it and kind of look at where they're missing and where CrossFit is currently missing. CrossFit still has a lot of these aspects. The media is back. They have the competitors. They have the affiliates. They have the education. They have the methodology. They just need to get that one thing that binds us all together to crusade against again. And we don't have that right now. But the others are missing way more legs to these stools. That's for sure. I thought Tyler did a great job pulling this together. I think it's a nice visual of what all this means and how the success happened. But so if you didn't see it last night on the spin, go check that out. Very interesting. Ironically, we are crusading for more people to get a salad in their diet. Yeah, I think because we don't have that one pinpointed thing to crusade against, we are crusading against each other. We are crusading against Metfix. We're crusading against WFP. We're just looking for people to crusade against, because we don't have that joint item to go after. I missed a lot of stuff. In my gym, there's nothing telling me open participation is going up. Yeah. The finance segment is where the third parties sit. Coaches Congress, best hour, 2 brain. Fergie, Metfix is what happens when you let academics run your messaging. Yeah, they're lost. The game started as a lark between Greg and Dave to see who was the fittest. It grew into a monster, and Greg felt it was becoming too much of the message. I don't disagree with that, but I do think it was an important part of the message. I don't think you need to eliminate it. I think you just need to put it in its proper place. And when it was a festival, it made sense. People coming together, people talking, people joining around a joint message. I think that was all good. Lose the festival and just make it a competition. That's where we've really fallen off, in my opinion. But I think you could use that wheel as a risk assessment looking at your competitors and what they're trying to do and what you are doing, and how do you get better and how do you defend what they're bringing at you. I think that's how it could be used. And even another way. So while we're talking about the WFP, I'm getting a lot of comments that I said the word billions yesterday. And where am I getting billions? I'm telling you, it was a rumor. All of the facts that I have said were told to me. They were told to me that the parents of Jackson Terry's wife, the Gillettes, Beth and Quentin, have a lot of money to give them. And it was quoted to me as billions. Now, if you go out and look at where they made their money, they owned a company called Power Grid. Power Grid is a company that kept power lines up and running and maintained. They were a majority of that company owned by the Gillettes was purchased in 2024 for around $2 billion. A majority of the company. There's not a lot of exact detail about what that majority is, but all of the executives, including the Gillettes, were retained to continue to grow the company forward. So a majority of the company was bought for $2 billion, and they were retained to keep it going forward. So that is where the billions are coming from. Although I took it because it was quoted to me in the rumor by more than one person that they have billions. I haven't done a net worth evaluation of the Gillettes to find out. I just know they have a lot of money. They have sold their company for just a majority interest in their company for $2 billion. I don't know what else they have in their portfolio or what else they're doing. That is just what was quoted to me. $2 billion. So the money for WFP is chump change to them. That's what everybody is saying. Yes. Rich people don't typically throw money away unless they have an axe to grind. I think they believe what they are doing is going to be successful. Beth Gillette, the mother, and one of the rich people involved, was a master's athlete with the CrossFit Games. I believe that her and her children believe that what they're doing is right and that they can make this successful. The way they're going about it, we may disagree with, but they believe it's right. And they're trying to create a company for their kids to run. So wasn't their motto in the 70s, I like the company so much I bought it? There you go. Jenny coming in with the originally sold the company for $200 million. They stayed on as shareholders and executives. And now that the company has been acquired for $2 billion. So we have a double sale. I was trying to do all the research, but I was busy at work this morning. I was trying to dig all the pieces out. So well, we don't know what else they have in their portfolio either. We don't know what investments they've made. We don't know any of the other stuff around that. We just know what the transaction of this one sale has made them. So they ain't poor for damn sure. Yeah. Work is overrated. Tell me about it. Yeah. I'm just trying to get to retirement, Ken. Just trying to get to retirement. Just do enough so I don't piss everybody off. The other thing, I don't even know if I want to dive down this hole. But you know, the whole thing about Rich Froning, that is, not the rich people, and his power in this sale that's coming up. I do think he has some power, but I do think there is a romance attachment to CrossFit that even he will have a hard time pulling people away from. I do think he's going to pull some people away if he doesn't agree with the people that it's sold to, but I don't think it's as big as everybody thinks it is, because there is a romance with CrossFit, and I think people will give it another shot to see where they're going to go with it. I am with you, Jody. She has 13 months to retirement. Dear God, let me make it. I wish I was 13 months. I have 8 years. 8 years. If WFP goes exclusive next year, isn't that in opposition of how Morad sold it as more opportunities for athletes? If you are going back to and saying that anything that Will said at the beginning is now factual, I think you're barking up the wrong tree. I think it has become blatantly obvious that what they said 8 months ago is not, in fact, true anymore. I think Rich currently represents the old school community spirit that everyone feels CrossFit HQ has lost. I don't disagree, and I do think he will have an impact, but I think CrossFit will still be around after the fact. Because when it comes down to it, you have all these affiliates out there that are basically running their own business with just CrossFit on the board outside, right? And they're going to think they can continue to do this, and they may even think they do it better than Mayhem. You know, there's still gyms out there that program their own stuff. There's still gyms out there that do things their way. And that's the beauty of CrossFit, is that you get to do it your way. Your gym gets to be your gym. And there are going to be a big bunch of people that are going to stay with that format so they can run their gym. I can't see Craig Howard from Diablo going, ooh, I'm going to go with Rich. No, he's going to be like, hey, I've been doing this since the beginning. I'm just going to continue to do it and do my own thing. Well, if the new owners obliterate the CrossFit message, then I feel all people in love with the brand will go with Rich. I think a good chunk could go with Rich, but I do think a lot of affiliate owners will just take CrossFit off the sign outside, and they'll just do their own thing. Denise Moore, we are not a Mayhem affiliate, but we use the Mayhem affiliate programming. Yeah, there's a lot of gyms that do that. The preponderance of unaffiliated gyms is overwhelming. Missed the opportunity because so many gyms could not submit my scores. I know. And I know of well-known athletes that were told they weren't allowed to come to their gym because their gym unaffiliated. And that's not a good thing either. Do you think Rich would turn the Mayhem Classic into a comp comparable to the Games, Rogue, or the WFP final comp? I don't know if he wants to be an event organizer. Maybe his team would, but that would be crazy. As someone who trains in a de-affiliated gym, I can tell you how devastated I was when the owners made the deciding. Every day I walk in, I miss being able to say I train at a CrossFit gym. I think Sevan used the example that Kalipa felt dirty when he de-affiliated. When he was NC Fit, he looked at the sign and said he felt dirty about it. We do everything the same, but aren't called CrossFit, and it makes me sad. He may not want to be an event organizer, but Rich runs a good event. He could do several smaller ones. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't like the way they run it at the gym is very different than other events. And I don't think it could be like the main event. He'd have to go to an arena or something like that or something bigger. But and again, he has a big team and he's compiling a bigger team. I think he's bracing for something. Genuine question. What does it mean to be in a Mayhem affiliate versus just using their programming? I do not know. It's so weird that the name of the sport is the name of the company. Imagine being a skiing affiliate or a football affiliate. There are PGA courses in golf. So I think that's kind of the method to the madness there. Sean in Oregon, my gym considered dropping their affiliation, but didn't because they thought they'd lose membership. And they're right. I'm there because I believe in CrossFit. In the last interview he did, it just seemed the writing was on the wall that if he doesn't like who buys CrossFit, he's taking a different direction from a business standpoint. I think you're right, David. And I think yesterday his appearance on Sevan backed that up. And the hiring of Austin Malialo as like an affiliate director backed that up. I think he is bracing for something. Fergie, we had athletes pay drop-in fees to affiliates to submit open scores. It just felt wrong to those that stayed with CrossFit. They blow up their classes for 3 days and get 0 memberships. Yeah. That's what happens when you don't look at those types of aspects when you make decisions in the rules. Vicky, Mayhem affiliate allows provider, no, a Mayhem affiliate provides them coaching, education, and resources stuff. Do you think Rich would have an issue with there being Muslim owners? I don't think so. I think that was part of this bid in the beginning anyway, that he was kind of a part of. I think he got sideswiped by some things and decided that it didn't meet his needs anymore. Matt Murphy, there's a difference between supporting the methodology and supporting the company. I guess. But man, it's slight. Genuine question, when does Scott actually eat lunch? Right after this show. I have it all ready. I throw it in the microwave or heat it up in the oven. I log back into my work computer and I eat at my desk. I don't know what that means, Ken. Having a Sevan mini stroke. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. They're coming in so fast. So CrossFit gym equals $1,000 a year, but no other extras other than the name. Mayhem offered gym assistance at $1,500 a year. Gym gets all it needs without paying the $4,500. You know it, Ken. Got to get that timestamp on the work computer. Yep. Well, where my desk is right by the kitchen. Like literally, I throw it in, I get back on my computer, and then I roll over and get my food out of the oven or whatever and just eat at my desk. Well, today's going to be a short show. I have an appointment this afternoon. So I did want to share with you something from a Masters athlete that posted. His name is Tom Fameree. And he wrote this on a post. Each of the CrossFit games I've been privileged to participate in have taken on its own personality. And it skipped ahead on me. There always seemed to be a defining moment that is etched in my memory. This past weekend was no exception, as I participated in my 6th CrossFit Games. I finished 8th in a field of 20 amazing athletes from around the world. Extremely happy with my results. But more importantly, I really enjoyed the experience. The host city of Columbus, Ohio, was an amazing venue with the energy and excitement I became accustomed to in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm hoping they host the event in Columbus for many years to come. He then thanks his gym and his coaches, and then he comes back with, then are the guys. Oh, the guys. Old friendships were renewed and deepened. New friendships were made, and it will be cherished. Every one of you inspire me. And then there is the moment that defines the weekend. We just completed the final event, and we're corralled until the final results were tabulated. While watching, we embraced each other, offering congratulations and respect. I turned to Cesc Paloma from Spain and through his interpreter told him I was very proud of him. I suddenly noticed he was tearing up, and the floodgates opened up for me. Here we are, two men who hardly know each other, cannot verbally communicate, connecting at the most basic level of the human condition: respect, admiration, relief, gratitude, and love. It doesn't matter where we're from, we are all the same. So I thought that recapped the age group CrossFit Games pretty well. It was a great moment for a community of athletes who put in their best foot forward, and with not a lot of accolades, not a lot of prize money. And I just thought he said it in a beautiful way that meant a lot. So I'm going to leave the show with that, because I do have an appointment I need to get to today. And with that, I'll be back tomorrow. We will hang out again and we'll talk about some stuff. And yeah, David, it was good to meet you too. Denise says she echoes for her age division. Thanks for reading that, Scott. Yeah, it was really cool. I got to meet David on the fence line watching one of Jamie's events. Dude is jacked and super, super fit. He did awesome. So with that, guys, we'll leave with that. I'll be back tomorrow, and love you all. Can't wait to get back and hang out tomorrow. But for now, gotta go. Bye, guys.